This is the brass love one. That's my heat you here. Okay, so I wanted to do a storyline reading. It's been noise all day, so I just can't get away from noise. But this is a storyline reading for a little girl. She died. She didn't just die, she was murdered. Emani Moss, her name is. Little Emani Moss. That died 2013 by the hands of her stepmother, Mrs.Tiffany Moss. Okay, so let me just go over it again. Emani was starved to death, beaten, starved to death. Her teacher noticed, I guess, that she lost weight or bruises on her or different things like that. And her hair was cut. Her teacher noticed that also. Some of her family members noticed it also, and they inquired about it. And that just made Miss Moss keep little Emani away, distance, right? Where they wouldn't ask a bunch of questions. Her father, he worked a lot, 2 and 3 jobs or whatever, so he barely ever was home to even notice his daughter, to even see any differences in his own daughter. Let me start with, because I remember reading about it back then and even looking at her trial back then, Mrs. Tiffany Moss. But back then, he was given custody of Emani, let me say it right, Emani, because either her mother died or her rights was taken or whatever reason they gave the baby, her to him. His mother offered back then to help him with little Emani, but he wanted to do it on his own, and I can understand that. But he wasn't doing it on his own because he was working all the time, all day long, so his wife was caring for Emani. So he still didn't do it on his own, so he might as well have gave her to his mother. She would have been better off. So what happened was little Emani died from starvation and being beat on. She ran away, I think, more than one time, and the police just dragged her right back to the abuser. Get what I'm saying? Because I gotta say, her father an abuser also, because if you see certain things and you don't do anything about it, you part of the problem. Follow me? If you don't do anything about it. Okay? If he saw marks on her or saw his wife beat her or whatever it is and he did nothing about it, he's part of the problem. Okay? So once she said that Emani died, he asked whatever questions he asked, whatever she threw out the story, he just went with it. He let his child lay in the house with him dead for I forgot how many days. I would have to look on my phone to see how many days. He just let the little girl just lay in the house dead. And he just followed the instructions of his wife, because his wife evidently was the person wearing the pants in that family. So she just told him what to do, and he just followed. He had a disconnect from his daughter because he didn't know his daughter. His daughter was given to him by the courts, so he didn't know his daughter. They had emotional love, the physical love, or anything else. Get what I'm saying? So that's why it was so easy for him just to not have a bunch of feelings about it and to follow what his wife was telling him, because he wasn't connected to his own daughter, because he didn't know his daughter. She is like a stranger. Like you put a child in a foster home, they don't know the foster parents, correct? It takes a while for them to even cuddle up to you and even trust or whatever it is. It takes a while. That's how it was with little Emani. However long it took, it still wasn't quite there. Maybe with her toward her father, but not her father toward her. Did you hear what I said? Maybe her toward her father, but not her father toward her. Because he already had 2 children there that he already was emotionally available to and loved. So far it looked like he didn't love Emani. He didn't know her. Even though she moved in with him, he still hadn't gotten to love her yet, because if he loved Emani, there's nowhere in the world he would have allowed this lady to abuse his daughter in any way, and after her death for her to still be abused, and he go along with it. That showed he didn't love his daughter. Because he went and he tried to burn his daughter in a trash can or something like that. If that's love for his daughter, I don't know what is love. He followed what his wife told him to do when he's the man of the household. So he has, I do know he have some kind of something a little bit mental going on there. Something's going on there. Besides, he didn't have an attachment to Emani. He still had something mentally going on with him where he wasn't catching on like he should, because nobody in their right mind would go with nothing like that. I'm a woman, and you're not going to tell me something happened to my child and I come home and you give me some piece of story and I go along with it. You're gonna give me some kind of story. You're going to give me some kind of story, or we're going to be fighting in there. And that's the bottom line. Period. I don't care who you are. So she threw out what she threw out, and he just ran with it and just went on with that. And she just told him what to do, like he has a little puppy dog, and he just followed. So that was crazy to me. He didn't have the connection and the love for Emani because she didn't live with him. Emani, she didn't live with him at first. He didn't raise her. She was given to him, so he didn't have a connection like he did the children that he raised that was living with him. Get what I'm saying? And the stepmother didn't either. She felt like Emani was a burden put in there on her and her little perfect family she had planned out. It says online that the way they met was because they was going to church, and some friend of Mrs. Moss's told Miss Moss about him, a church member, Mr. Moss, and that he was a good catch. He worked all the time. He bring in the bacon and whatever, so she felt she was going to get somebody, I guess, to take care of her. That was her plan, so she grabbed on to him. And he thought, I guess she was something special because he thought that God given me a wife. Don't think everybody God that comes in the church house is your wife. That God given you a wife. You picking your own wife. God didn't give that lady to him. He picked that lady for whatever reasons. Maybe he thought nobody was coming his way, so I guess he might have said, well, I better just grab the first person who look in my way. But see where you at now by picking. You didn't wait for God to give you a wife. You picked that wife. Because she was flirting or she was doing something to make you think that, well, maybe this is a wife for me. And it cost your child her life. It cost her life. It's a shame that she couldn't have her mother over there, and then she couldn't have her father either because you didn't have love for her. So she lost both ways. If you don't get a child to the grandmother, can't have the child, so the child just lost all over. Okay? So let's just flow. What I was given was deck 7. Abuse, because she was abused, period. And we have healing of the soul, deck 9. And she was bruised to the soul because she was murdered. Follow me? So let me just move these cards out the way. If you can bear with my heat being on because it got a little cold down here. Okay, we have right here Mrs. Moss, Tiffany Moss, was sadistic. I see the card. That's why I'm saying it. Anything you hear me say is because I see the card, okay? And that's why I'm saying it. It jumped out at me. But here it is right here. Look, this is for Mr. Moss. It was time for him to grow up. Because he saw that lady. He saw that that wife of his, Miss Tiffany Moss, was abusing his daughter. He saw bruises or something. He saw something. God saying he saw something. He saw something. This card saying he saw something. It was time for him to grow up and be a man. Be the man. Wear the pants. It was time for him to call. Follow me? But I feel a teacher called. A teacher did some calling and communicating to make something happen. Okay? Okay? He needed to take the reins and be the God in him. He needed to be the God in him. Follow me? Okay, we have right here wife, Tiffany, Tiffany Moss, she was sadistic. She liked to inflict pain. She needed soul support. Okay? It's not snowballs and lollipops. Miss Moss, this was real life. You took that baby's life. Here it is. He might have sat and asked you, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Or you might have asked Emani, did she do something? Did you do it? No more trying to impress. Because maybe you asked her, did she do something? And you wasn't trying to impress anymore. You wanted an answer out of her and you wanted it out of her right then or whatever, and you acted. Well, this is your husband to you. Or the law asked, did you do it? Whatever. Okay, it says temporarily you abused your power with Emani. Because your husband didn't, because he was working all the time. It was you. Okay, you're just looking at the structure of it. They noisy. Emani lost her cushions in minutes. She didn't know the cause of your anger. She lost her cushions in minutes. That means that her life was snatched. Can I just say it like I want to say it? We got numbers right here, part of social, phone number, license, docket number, ID number, birthday. It could be part of anything. Court date. It could be part of anything connected to any of you I'm talking about. You rose to the occasion right here. Right here. You rose to the occasion to beat Emani at her own game. You did. Okay, you might have a design rug in your house. It don't have to be stripes. Some kind of design on it. Or it's one where you at now. Follow me? You need to taste what was on your plate and throw away the scraps. Or you wanted to taste what was on your plate and throw away the scraps. So Emani would be scraps. Get what I'm saying? You wanted to taste what was on your plate. Or you eating at jail and you just eating what you like and you throwing away the scraps. Or God turning it around with you because you are a hard egg to crack. So let me just say it this way. Let me twist it around, because God twists the cards around with certain people, because you are the culprit here. Usually God telling the person that, but we got to twist it around. You want it. God not saying for you. You want it right here. You wanted to taste what was on your plate only. That means your 2 kids, right? And you want to throw away the scraps. That means Emani. Get what I'm saying? Because Emani was treated like scraps, like trash. Remember, put in a trash can, right? Okay. Emani needed faith over all. And she needed a miracle. Follow me. It says right here, she was hand in hand with the enemy. They like green. You might can't see them. They like green. She is hand in hand with the enemy. That would be you, the stepmother, Miss Emani, Miss Tiffany Moss. She is wishing for a good decision. Look at you. You use your imagination. Look at God. Know you miss, and you made her disappear without a trace. Whatever you did, you use your imagination where you're going to make her disappear. Get what God's saying with you. God know you. You use your imagination to make her disappear. Barely feed or whatever you wanted to do. Whatever it was, you wanted her gone. Something was on your cell phone. Messages, texts, photos. Maybe to your husband. Texting your husband about it. Talking about you tired of, or whatever it might have been. Whatever it might be. Look at this God jumping out. She is a blessing. God says she bring blessings. Children bring blessings, but they don't even like me. So this would be mother and father. Get what I'm saying? Okay. So it says right here, you need to let spirit in. Boom. Let God in your life. Because you're supposed to be a church person, but everybody go to church is not godly. Okay, right now, you dealing with the blue-eyed brother. Right? That would be the cops patting you down, right? Or you did deal with them, however it's going. Okay? You wanted your inheritance and your credits. So that means you wanted all that you felt your blessings you felt you supposed to have been getting, right? Your husband was bringing in the dough. constantly working, bringing in that cash. You wanted to live a good life. Follow me? So we have wherever you live, right? It says right here that you must go on with your life as you should. So you must go on with your life as you should. Because it says right here that you came in with rage toward Emani. You that Mrs.Tiffany Moss. Some kind of way Tiffany, I mean I'm trying to think. Well, I wonder if this going with the cops. Let me think for a minute. Because it's a rage card. No can do. It could be right here. The police coming at you right here. Patting you down. You could have came in with rage. You saying no. No, I didn't. What you want or anything like that. Or this could just simply mean you came toward little Emani some kind of way. She was saying no to something, or she can't do it, or anything like that. Maybe she was gift seeking, asking you for something or anything like that, but you needed to filter your ways. Okay, let's just flow. Okay, it says right here within 24 to 48 hours you was working on trying to do something, whatever it was. You was showing your love for whatever it was. Nurturing your other children you had, or just something you was trying to do, whatever it was. Because little Emani lost her cushions in minutes. Follow me? It says no growth come from the same sex. So that means this is jail for you, because unless you're a person who, unless you was gay all the time and you got married. Get what I'm saying? Because just because somebody get married, that don't mean you ain't gay. Get what I'm saying? You can get married and be gay. My cousin got married to a woman, had a child and everything, but then he got divorced in time. And as time went on, he married a man. Get what I'm saying? That don't matter because you got children. That don't mean you not gay. So some kind of way either you was gay already, or it's happening in jail, anything like that. Because God's saying no growth come from the same sex. That your choices are your own. So why would that be right there though? Let me see something. Why would that be right there, Lord? Why would that be? So we can put this with jail. Because you lost your cushions in minutes. That being home, being free, and then you in jail with people. Because here's the cops right here. Let's just flow. Picking people because of the cops, the jail, or whoever inside the prison picking certain ladies they like, or anything like that. Could be somebody who they picking certain ladies they like. Just like men pick the ladies they like, ladies pick the ladies they like in jail. Maybe it's something like that. Let's just flow in those. For this lady and this man, his father. I'm gonna look at his name soon. What his name is. Evidence shows that you was dealing with money. You was dealing with money because your husband was just working all the time, and your focus was bringing in money. Him bringing the money in. He need to take back his power though, and get away from the idiot. And you was the idiot because Emani couldn't do too much of nothing. She was a child, and she just keep being brought back to that household. So she didn't have any power. You feel like he got in there putting you on trial. Her father, Emani's father, or a policeman, or officer that's in there where you at, asking you questions, or you feel like your husband asking you questions about what happened, or somebody in general in the court. Because remember, you wanted to be your own lawyer. He got a nerve trying to put me on trial, so you wanted to put yourself on trial. Looks like here you wanted to be your own lawyer. Okay, you're in a sinful place, around a sinful place with glass doors. So jails have glass doors inside of them some kind of way. Okay, it says right here, you had no more time for lack. Dealing with somebody who don't look like you. Emani didn't look like you, Emani. You had no more time for lack. You ain't want no lack in your life. So it says right here that you wanted your needs met, or Emani wanted her needs met, but you abused her. Or somebody in jail want their needs met from you, and they abusing you. Anything like that. So we have right here, you was taking Emani for a joke, or your husband for a joke, saying me too. If she says she hungry, you hungry. However it is when people come back at you like that, or in jail, however it's flowing. You was sadistic, bad to the bone, bad to the bone. Okay, you dealing with a dangerous lover, somebody in the jail, Pied Piper in the jail, a dangerous lover, or you dealing with your husband. Your husband was a dangerous lover, a man that had a lot going on, and he did because he worked so much he wasn't even paying attention, close attention to what was going on home, where you was abusing and killing his child slowly. So he definitely had a lot going on. He was dealing with a dangerous lover. That's usually a man card, but I can turn it around the other way for you because you're a hard egg to crack. You was a dangerous lover. He's so crazy in love with you. You was a dangerous lover. You slowly killing his child and he didn't even know it. Okay, it says right here, you planted playful energy. You wanted him to plant a seed of playful energy. You didn't want him to be real mad when he came home. Or little Emani wanted you to plant a seed of playful energy. Mrs.Tiffany Moss or somebody in the jail want that from you. Okay? You wasn't going to be settling for nobody's cheating ways. So it wouldn't be with your husband. It would be pretty much with little Emani. You weren't going to settle for her cheating ways, and that would be not doing things like you felt it needed to be done, or whatever it might have been, where you felt she wasn't doing something right, whatever it was. Whatever, I don't know. Okay, it says right here, we got another card, picking people because of. So you might be dealing with somebody in jail that's not going to put up with your cheating ways. And they picking certain people because of. Let me just flow for a minute and see. Okay. You made a gesture to God. God is a path. I'm walking the right path. It's too late to ask God now. You should have asked God back then when you was abusing this baby. Yeah, you walking the right path in jail where you're supposed to be. I answered for you. Okay, if you want to be non-religious, will you? Because you probably wasn't like that anyway. You probably was there to kind of get somebody to take care of you. They had that regular money right here coming in. You was picking certain kind of people, and what you was picking was somebody who can take care of you. Wasn't like you was all into God, because the card right here, you asking God right here, the path you walking. Do you know all the facts about religion, or do your husband know all the facts of what happened to his daughter, or do the courts know everything that happened? And do it even matter? He didn't even want to know all the facts. It didn't even matter. You threw out what you threw out to him, what you said, and he just took it in like your word was bond. You really wasn't, you were somebody who came to church or whatever, but it wasn't like you was really into it. You was focused on money and somebody taking care of you. Unfortunately, something didn't smell right. Let's flow. Something didn't smell right as far as whatever teacher it was. They kind of seen something wasn't right because the baby didn't look the same. Emani. She was a 10-year-old. She didn't look the same. Her hair was cut off. Maybe bruises was on her. So to the teacher, something didn't smell right. And to her aunt or her family members, other than that household, something didn't smell right. Or to you, you felt like something didn't smell right as far as maybe something that she did, or she wasn't doing something, or her husband came and he saw something didn't smell right. And that would be little Emani laying in there deceased. And eventually it's going to give off a smell, a dead body. You was going to be moving to rougher matters if you didn't change. But you are dealing with rougher matters because you didn't change. And Emani was going to be moving to rougher matters if she couldn't get out of that house and she was stuck to that house. Your husband was going to be moving to rougher matters because he wasn't straightening you out like he should have and wore the pants like he should have. He wore pants to go to work, but then when he came home, he took off his pants evidently, and you was the man. Follow me? We got 18, so he might have worked up to 18 hours. He might have worked so much. Maybe up to 18 hours. Work, constantly. We might have worked between 1 and 8, 8 and 1, whatever it is, he constant. Could have been the 18th. Could have been your birthday, her birthday, his birthday, anything. This could be court day or whatever. Cell number, whatever this is. I'm glad that teacher saw something. But it thing is, it just takes so long for them to take children out of houses. They take them out with certain people, and other people you leave the children there and they get murdered. But somebody else, you take their children because the children don't have shoes, all kind of stupid stuff like that. Instead of buying some shoes for the child, buying some food for the parent. But then somebody like this, you sit there and you let them kill the baby. Kill a child, and you hear things and you still don't move on it. I blame protective services, those kind of people, any of them agencies that don't do things that they need to do. Look at this, change house. That didn't take her out of that house when you heard anything, any kind of way. You should have took her out. Right here, this is the change house card. This is the change house card. Little Emani wanted loyal. Her husband was looking at that his wife was loyal. But this is the change house card when you don't know where you're going to live at. Little Emani wanted to move. She wanted to leave there, but there's nothing she could do. It's like you live somewhere, you don't know where you're going to live at. You're making a move, but you're not sure where it's going to be. It was easy to leave things to others and escape, and that's what her husband did. He worked all the time, and he left his child to others, to his wife, Miss Tiffany Moss, to care for. And he escaped. Get what I'm saying? Because he worked all the time. That's called escape. He wasn't with his own kid to do what he needed to do with his child. Follow me? She hooked herself on and ran from her own problem. So she hooked herself on to this man and ran from any problem she had before he met her. She hooked herself on to him because of what? She heard he got money. He a hard worker. It was evident. Follow me? He got money, girl. Get him. He a good catch. He got money. He work all the time. He'll take care of you. Now this church we talking about. Don't think ladies don't talk like that in church. Don't let them fool you, because just because somebody in church, that don't mean anything. Okay, here we have this. She's going to be bold and brave in this thing. I'll love you forever. Right? She's going to be bold and brave in it. I'll love you forever. That's not Emani talking to them. This probably would be her husband talking out to her. Or her to her husband. That's not all to the story. That's not enough. That's not enough. She went to church, but she wasn't really no deep down church goer or really a dedicated church person. She heard about he worked hard, he bring in the bacon, and she said, well, I'm going to find somebody to take care of me. And that's how that went. So she probably didn't even love her husband, what you call love. If anything, he probably was the one doing the loving because he glad to get somebody. He thinking God bringing him somebody. He asking her, did she do it? But I think he said what happened probably. The law might have told her, said to her, did you do it? and they don't want no more trying to impress her. They want to know, did you do it? What happened? I doubt if her husband asked. I doubt it, because he just was taking everything she said for fact. I'm going to do another one, because that's not enough. He wore the pants at work, and that's the only time he wore the pants. When he came home, he took off his pants, and this lady was the man at home. Anything she said went. I don't know if he just act like he couldn't get another woman or what, or he was so into church he felt he could have stayed at your wife. But really, if she wasn't doing nothing wrong to him, I guess he had no problem with her, because she wasn't doing nothing wrong to him. But all the time, sir, she abusing your child home, treating your child like garbage. But you gotta remember, he didn't even know his own child, because the child was given to him, you know, at a late age. So he didn't have a connection with his daughter. You know, it's like you got a foster child, you get that you don't know. It's that's the same situation. He didn't know his daughter, so he didn't have the emotional, he didn't have the love that you would have, like he did for the children. He was right there, that, you know, he had with his wife. Get what I'm saying? Okay, so we need another one for, let me see, I gotta find out his name. I don't want to say it wrong. I think it's Ahmad, but I don't like saying names wrong. Let me see for sure what his name was. Universe. Mr. Moss. I want to say his name, because he irked me on the witness stand, because he was smiling. He might have just was nervous, or he might have thought something was funny. I don't know, but I didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. Really, this baby had nobody. We got Emani Gabrielle Moss, was a 10-year-old little girl who was starved to death by her evil stepmother. I put the evil in it. Stepmother, in 2013 in Georgia. Tiffany Moss. They call it the Cinderella effect. But let's see what his name is. Let me just turn this down so you won't hear the video. I just want to see what his name is. I forgot. I need to see his name. What is this man's name? Wait a minute. Miss Moss and Mrs. Moss and her husband, they had 2 children together, a little boy and a little girl. She didn't want nothing to come in the way of her happy little home. She wasn't trying to feed nobody else either. Let me just see. I'm trying to find out what his name is. They should have his name there. He's the father. I'm trying to actually just see what his name is. They say she was going to die by execution, but that didn't happen. Okay, they keep saying her name. I just want to see his first name. Let's see. Okay, let me just say father. I'm trying to see what his name is. Father name. I just want to see his first name to see if I'm right. His name is Emani Moss. I don't want to say it wrong. Emani Moss. It's a E. Emani Moss. Emani Moss. So she Emani and he Emani Moss. Okay. Okay, it says right here that they tried to burn her body in attempts to get rid of her. I mean, it's terrible when you think about it. But he didn't have a connection with his daughter, so. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this is the last one. Okay, let's see, universe, give me anything else as far as Emani Moss, the father of little Emani, Anything else you want to say about Mrs. Tiffany Moss? Or just anything about little Emani? You want to say anything, Emani, in the storylines? Say it, little sweetheart, little princess. Say it. Say it. If there's anything to say. Anything to say. Okay, so let's just see. I'm hearing 6. Let me find 6 of the abuse. I'm hungry. You was hungry? Yeah. Sorry, baby. You was hungry. Oh my goodness. Let me feel a certain kind of way. You was hungry, baby. I'm hungry. You heard me just say I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm saying I am hungry, right? I feel like I'm hungry. So I feel like that's what she's saying to me. I'm hungry. She was hungry. Yeah. I'm sorry this happened to you, baby. I'm looking for deck 6. Where is deck 6, universe? Let me see. Where are you, deck 6? Nine, 10, 11, 4, 13, 1, 8, 17, 2. Okay, is this deck 6? I don't like to pick up the wrong deck. Shoot, I hate to pick up the wrong decks because it will change it a whole nother way. It don't say deck 6 though. Oh, shit. Okay, where's deck 6, universe, for little Emani? Where's deck 6? Okay, let's see something here. Let me pause you. I gotta find this deck 6. Okay, I'm back. I had to find. I got so many cards sitting here. So I got the deck 6 that was hiding from me. Deck 6 of the abuse. That's when you abuse someone or someone abused you. We got deck 4 of the healing of the soul. When you hurt someone to the core or someone hurt you. Now let's just flow for a minute. Put those there and we look at the tops. Okay, she wanted somebody to change. So whoever she would want to change is a male. So it would be her husband. Right? So we have right here, she didn't want to postpone an active action, whatever the action was. Okay, it says right here that little Emani is in a safe and happy place now, and that would be with spirit. That's what happened on her journey. So right here, she didn't, maybe she wanted her husband to, do something. Whatever she wanted her husband to do, maybe get rid of Emani. I don't know. Let's just flow. There was a witness. If you put the person on the stand, they can pretty much tell the truth. And he had a witness there because he called, I think, one of his friends or family members to help him get rid of his own baby. So it was a witness. Okay, it says right here, capturing an opportunity at the lighthouse. He or she captured an opportunity at the lighthouse. That is rehabilitation, counseling, rehab, Alcoholics Anonymous, or church. Follow me? God said it was wake-up time. It was time to continue. Healthcare industry. Healing was this father's path. He needed to leave destruction behind because he was acting doofy, like he didn't know what was going on in his household. Because it says right here that he needed to cleanse his mind. And it says right here that the baby was being treated like a plaything. Not being treated right, but they dealing with court now. Follow me, a hearing. Or Miss Moss, or Mr. Moss, one of them is in jail and somebody treating them like a plaything, anything like that. It's all about money. So it's all about money. What would he do to save him? Or what would she do to save her, Mrs. Moss? Because it was all about money. Because she worried about money and what's coming in the house and having what she wanted for her. Little Emani I just want to keep calling it. I'm so used to these other names here, and Emani, and all these different names out here. I've got to keep it right. Emani. Not no T on it. Oh my goodness. Let me get it right. Emani. I got to keep that in my mind because I'm used to hearing those other names. Little Emani. Okay, we got a card right here. This could have happened to Mrs. Moss in jail. Follow me? Well, this could have happened to the baby. We don't know, right? Nobody knows anything. Because that's all you know is whatever this lady say, right? Okay, it says it was time to get ready to be in charge of his life. The father, Mr. Moss, and move fast on what was calling him forward. Because his wife Tiffany was looking to see if he is work worthy. Remember, look, this looked like when they got started, when she met him maybe. He was getting ready to be in charge of his own life. He is going to move fast on what he felt was calling him forward, right? He thinking God giving him a wife. She looking to see if he work worthy. Is he work worthy? Opinionized. Here she is. And also his jobs, whatever jobs he got, he was going to take charge of his life and go forward. And whoever he's working for was looking at him to see if he's work worthy. Anything like that. Take it however it flows. Him with meeting her at the beginning, taking charge of his life or whatever it may be. Let's just flow. Universe, you know all about this thing. This baby. Okay, it says that he was on the speedway, his wife was on the speedway, or little Emani was on the speedway. She was gorgeous. Follow me? It says right here, she was trying to bend forward on things because she is a caterpillar in this. Little Emani. She is the caterpillar here. Okay, it says right here, somebody gay. Can I feel my God's mission being gay? So one of these parents is gay. Wondering if they can feel their God's mission, the man or the woman, one of them. Whatever mission they feel God had for them. So we have right here that means one of them is an earth angel. And I got a feeling it might be the man. Don't have to be, but maybe. Let's flow. Let's see the father. So it says right, finally, little Emani in a safe and happy place with spirit, with God. Because we got right here that stepmother of hers, Miss Tiffany Moss, didn't want to come up to today's time. That means if Emani moved in with them, she needed to deal with things now. Not how it used to be, but now. She needed to see it now. That Emani was going to be living there, and that was it. And that was because, look, she chose the one for full bloom. Mrs. Tiffany Moss. And that would be that husband she chose, Mr. Moss, right? She chose the one, him, right? Okay, it says right here that you are the common denominator here. If you change your identity, it won't work with your twin. So maybe in jail, one of them, the husband or the wife, one of them in jail, maybe something going on with the same sex. Follow me? But the person is the common denominator there. See what I'm saying? So if the person chooses to do whatever, you know, is up to that person. Something was flimsy because either one of them got tortured in jail or their story was flimsy and little Emani got tortured at home. That's what happened on the journey. So if that's what happened on the journey, okay, here's the healing path again. There's a healing path one of these parents had. and needed to leave destruction behind. Okay, it says right here it was a witness to this. And it says whoever it is full of faith. A person that's a church person, or a person that just got integrity. Because flames were sparked and Emani captured those flames. Because we got this stepmother of hers, evil stepmother, wicked stepmother, felt she was restricted. She had no way out. But she need to apologize. Open her big mouth and say, I'm sorry to Emani. Say it out. Because Emani is in the spirit. Say, I'm sorry, Emani. Because you felt restricted and you had no way out. Because you did a preview on things and you felt like you was on a battleground with Emani. But a court date gradually came up for you, or one coming again, however it's flowing. Because you forced things. You forced things. You was forcing her to do things or whatever. You forced things. Or a court date is going to be forced to put you back up in the spotlights. Get what I'm saying? Part of a license, phone number, social, anything it could be. Get what I'm saying? Anything. License, birthdays, court dates, whatever, times, docket number, prison number, whatever it is. It says right here that you are slipping through the corridors loosely, or somebody toward you, Mrs. Moss or Mr. Moss, in their jailhouse some kind of way, or at home. Because your husband was running to work constantly, going on about his business, on the speedway, just going to work, or you was home doing all you was doing. Right? You was living a plantation way of living, or your husband, where life was falling apart for you. You felt like you or your husband not having enough food, shelter, housing, clothing, or money. Or it was like that for the baby, Emani. Or it's like that in jail. One of you. Okay? It is time to heal, though, God says, right? Because you acting doofy along with your husband, like you don't know what's going on, or like you don't know what happened. But you need to cleanse your mind. God says it's time to heal. Whoa, this one was coming. This one right here. You need to learn all the lessons that you need to learn, God says, you and your husband. I gotta go with both of you. Even though the name, your name is the main name I had, because you wanted to be your own lawyer and you the one who did it. Right? You need a beam to express your spirituality to this world. Follow me? You treated little Emani like a plaything. Like she wasn't a real person. It's wake up time, God says. And it's time for you to continue your life. And you are continuing your life. We see that. Okay, it says right here that God didn't want you to postpone an active action, or you wasn't going to postpone an active action. So you wasn't going to postpone an active action when you did what you did to Emani. You wasn't going to postpone that thing. You was set on that. But you didn't want your husband to postpone an active action and going out there to burn the baby up. But the court some kind of way postponed an active action. And I think you're not getting the death penalty now. You're getting, I think, life in jail or whatever. Okay, I said it was all about money. What was you going to do to save yourself back then? Because you're focusing on money and you wanted to save yourself. You wanted Emani out because you felt like she was taking money. She is pulling from the money flow. Anything like that? Or it's all about money and might have something to do with jail. They don't have enough money or whatever. Some kind of way with money. So they decided to hold on to you and have you in jail for life. That means money flowing, anything like that for the jail system. Because if they keep you in jail, that's money they keep getting for a prisoner or whatever. I don't know if it go that way. Okay, we have right here. You might have been on taking some kind of medication. You might have put some kind of medicine in Emani's food or anything like that. Or Emani just was in pain at that time, or you are now. Someone is a genius and they don't even know it. So little Emani was a genius and you didn't even know it. You didn't take out time to find out, first of all. You or your husband or father. Okay. Okay. Will you change? Okay, you wanted her father to change some kind of way. You wanted her father to change, I guess, and give her away or do something like that. You want her father to do something. You want him to change in some way. Okay? You was choosy about moving to another place. Maybe you wanted to move to a whole nother city or state or whatever, and maybe he wasn't giving in. I don't know. Okay, it says right here, I'm game, I'm in. Just wait. So we can put this with, only thing I can think with this one right here is when you decided for your husband to burn his little girl. He wasn't going with it at first. And here it is right here. Just wait. I'm game. I'm in. I'll do it. Because I don't know if he went to a whole nother neighborhood or whatever to take the baby, to do this to the baby. So this part might have go with the baby. You wanted him to change. And maybe you wanted him to go to another neighborhood or whatever, take the baby somewhere and burn the baby. He wasn't trying to do it at first, but then just wait. And then he gave in. I'm game, I'm in. He'll do it. Because you pinpointed it and you complained. Because maybe she started to smell in the house, or you didn't no longer want her in the house or whatever. Because right here, the power stays with the wife, not with the ex. So since he didn't have another woman, as far as I know you ain't have another person, we're going to put this with little Emani. Get what I'm saying? The power stays with the wife. You his wife. And we got little Emani. You see it say ex, right? You made her ex though. Get what I'm saying? Even down to Imani's mother would be a ex, right? So Emani come from her mother, so that's still considered a ex. Get what I'm saying? You feel the power stay with you. You the woman here. The power stay with you, not with some other woman, some other woman's child. You was jerking. You was jerking your you felt like your husband was jerking you around with Emani. Okay, it says right here, thoughts were swirling at the duplex at your house, wherever you was living at. Or right now in that jailhouse, but this goes with that house back then, I think. Can you still love me now you know? You can still do your God mission if you like. Can your husband still love you now he know you murdered his child? I don't know what kind of man that would be. Ain't no way. Ain't no way in this world, miss. Ain't that kind of love in this world, miss. And I'm a real nice person. Ain't no way. You'll be laying beside me and you did something to a child of mine. Ain't no way you'd be laying beside me. That man had some serious problems going on. If church teach you to kind of be right there with somebody who murdered your loved one and be fine with it, nah. That's not for me. Look at God. You need to find other ways to pleasure yourself. You must stay on your path. So here's God to your husband, Mr. Moss. He needed to stay on his path. And his path would be a godly path. But he went off his path, letting this lady lead him, lure him, lead him. And he went on with it, though, because he was a grown-up. He had his own mind. He went on with that. And went and took his child, wherever he took his child in, and tried to burn his child up. But God told him he must stay on his path. Because God said leave destruction behind over here. But he didn't. He just went along and went along. He had to find other ways to pleasure himself. That means let this woman go. Get what God's saying. or something happening in jail. Find other ways to pleasure yourself because you don't have your wife anymore. Or she need to find other ways to pleasure herself because you don't have your man beside you in that jail. Okay, universe, you know all about it. Okay, it says right here, letting off his sexual tendencies when she was. Had to have a clear mind. Find other ways to pleasure yourself, and it's coming behind it. Home, when he was home, have a clear mind, God says. You letting off your sexual tendency. You better find another way to pleasure yourself and tell on this woman. I don't know if she is giving kisses or whatever, and that made him just go along with everything or what. What is his jail? Follow me. Here, look at this. I got this was jumping out. Laying down beside you is like my first crush. See? This is him. So you, but God said you need to get away from the haters and the snake. This lady was a hater and a snake. You was laying beside Mrs.Tiffany Moss here. Laying beside you like my first crush. You was really fascinated with this lady. She done murdered your child and she done got you to do all this. And then she backed it up with some romance. She backed that thing up with some romance. There it is right there. That shows it. Okay. Somebody got attacked in their life. If not in jail, in their life, or the baby did. Somebody, because I see the card. That's why I'm saying it. Somebody know that a man know he must respect either, what's her name? Miss Tiffany Moss. Somebody in jail. Not her husband. This would stand for her husband, that card. Some man in jail know he must respect Miss Tiffany Moss. Or is some man know he must respect Mr. Moss. It'll have to be either one, some guy. Because somebody was taking Mr. Moss as a plaything, or someone was taking Mrs. Moss as a plaything. Get what I'm saying? In the jail. Not out here. In the jail. So we have right here. Here's a lighthouse. The lighthouse stands for church, rehab, alcohol, anonymous. What is it? Drug treatment. Any of them kind of places. I don't think I'm leaving any out. Did I say church? So we got the lighthouse. So I don't. Oh yeah, hospital. I can't leave hospital out. Maybe one of them went to the hospital in jail since they've been in jail. Anything like that. So we have right here. One of them need to be the chairperson of his own life. The husband need to be the chairperson of his own life. The wife was already the chairperson of her life. Was around something green and flowery. Leaves, bushes, clothing, curtains, tablecloths, or whatever. Back then, during the time they was out or in jail. So we have right here a court card. So some kind of hearing came out, or one coming about. Follow me. It says right here we got a bunch of papers where she gonna get happy about, or she got happy about, or her husband. Okay? Or he got happy about because he filled out applications back then for a job or whatever, or in jail some kind of way, filling out something, going for treatment or whatever this is. I don't know. He gonna get happy about, she gonna get happy about it, anything like that. And then we had a rape card. Is it my fault I got raped? So she could have got raped in jail. He could have got raped in jail. She could have got raped in her life, period. And she getting some kind of counseling right here. Because this really not the counseling part, but it can go with counseling where you need some kind of treatment. They even stand for hospital. So it could be where some kind of way in her life, his life, the baby's life, one of the three. But I really, since the baby is, I don't feel as the baby is one of these adults. In jail, before jail, in their life some kind of way or whatever. And maybe some real treatment gonna come from what happened in jail. Get what I'm saying? Where it can be let out. Be able to talk about it. Let me do one more.